50 and Netflix done teamed up on P. Diddy's ass.
That's how I'm coming. That's how I'm coming.
What's up, family? Back again. And if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. Yo, the comment section it is. Yo, the boy 50. I don't know. I think I kind of feel like Gully TV. I heard his introduction and I turned it because I didn't want to be influenced by what he had to say. I was totally or fully, but I did catch the beginning where he said, on his title it said, "This had nothing to do with 50." This was, and yes, when I saw it, 50 wasn't in it. They did flash his name on every episode, executive producer, and they kept flashing the title of what Puff got charged with, and then they put on there what he got found guilty of. Then they put on there what his sentence was, and they kept doing that for every episode. Also, in my opinion, the parts that they are advertising so heavily, like they got some damaging or some footage that's supposed to turn the tide or make people feel even worse about Puff, man, that was stretched. Oh, in my opinion, it was stretched. All right, the part where he got back in the car and he said, "Let me get some sanitizer. I need to take a bath." I've been up close up to 150 people today. And he said something that I don't believe anybody caught. He said, "And if you know what's going on out here, you got to stay clean." Something like that he said. But I caught that part. And what he's referencing, in my opinion, is the spiritual realm in a way. We all we all got the hoteps in our community, or we all got also the older people in our community who know about sage, and about using sage to ward off anything that's not agreeable to your spirit or to how you get down. I even saged myself before, but I felt like he was not wrong for saying that he wanted to clean himself up after he'd been in contact with that many people. Man, it's the COVID era. I mean, did we forget that? Did we forget that we still, are under a threat of somebody or something coming for us again? I gotta say it like that. Y'all know why. But I'm from the deep south. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and a lot of people who know about Savannah, they know that people do a lot of things down there. In the south. Root working. The TV name for it is voodoo, but it's working roots is what it really is. But to me, that was the first thing that jumped out at me when I heard him say, I got to stay clean. I got to get clean. If you know anything, that's what I think he was referencing. I don't think he was saying I touched 150 people and now I feel nasty or now I feel like these people infected me or something like that. Nah, I don't feel like that, man. Nah, people stretching that too. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say it was a stretch about how they were promoting the film was all they did was show Diddy talking to his lawyers on the phone and trying to do what anybody would do, try and get some help. I didn't see a whole lot wrong. Maybe I missed some things, I don't know, but I didn't see anything wrong with that. I did see his expressions and how he was acting when he was finding out certain people were suing him. You know what I mean? And the way he tried to brush it off like those people weren't very important. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Kurt Burrows guy, I'm confused, bro. I'm confused. Now I know we ain't all gangsters. You know what I mean? I know we aren't all very physical people. You know what I mean? Not all of us are, but I don't believe his story. You know what I mean? Certain things he was talking about, like as they happen with Puff, and stuff like that with the artists or with whatever was going on. I believe those things, but a lot of the things that he said that happened with him personally with Puff, you know, the jury's gonna be out on that. And also, he said he didn't win his case. You know what I mean? Because wasn't nobody else buying that. You know what I mean? I said in my other video, you know, if anything happened to any of these people for real, you know, my heart goes out to you. You know, I don't want to diminish what happened to you if it happened to you. You know, but we live in a time where, you know, if a billionaire stepped on your shoe, you even though he's apologizing profusely, you would still be trying to sue him. So, you know, that's that for me. And, you know, the timing, you know, everybody's trying to go up under the umbrella of they were afraid of Puff. Puff ain't got power all over the country. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? I'm not buying all of this. And another thing they put on there, it was 100 and something cases, and it's still 77 cases pending. You know, and I said also in my video, I'm not on Puff's side, you know what I mean, at all. But I'm not gonna sit by and just not say how I feel, you know what I mean. 100 cases. Do I think it's possible that he assaulted or misused 100 people? Yeah, for sure. Do I think the 77 cases that are still pending, are they pending because they are viable cases? I don't know. Maybe the people just ain't got to them all yet. Maybe they're still investigating or checking stories to see what's going to pan out. What I do know is, since I've been alive, every time somebody get hit with these kinds of accusations, a whole lot of people come, especially black people, a whole lot of people start coming out the woodwork on them. Now, I'm not saying all of these people are looking for the money, but and yes, it is possible that you have wronged this many people, especially when you walk around and the optics show a person that is very egotistical or narcissistic. You know, when you're showing that, you know, that's what make it hard for people to not believe that you didn't do this. You know what I mean? So, well, that's what makes it hard for me. When you walk around and act like you better than everybody else, you know what I mean? Yeah. Do I think Puff is a gangster? I think because I've been around, I've seen weaker people advance in finance. I won't say wealth because we was all doing wrong, but I've seen weaker people get some money and use it to do things to other people. You know what I mean? So that don't make them a gangster. You know what I mean? To me, that makes them weak. You know what I mean? You couldn't do it yourself. But I feel like Puffy is that type of person. You know, he has used his money and his position and his influence to influence a lot of things to go his way that in turn went against the people he was actually going after. You know what I mean? So I hope I said that right. Yeah. I'm through talking about my GED. Y'all gonna deal with it or not? Family, like, subscribe, comment, share, hype, all the good stuff to help me out. I appreciate it. I'm coming with some comedy, some funny stuff. I'm trying to write my own jokes. I know they don't be as funny as, you know, Cat Williams or Kevin Hart and none of the big guys, but, you know, I'm not really a comedian. I'm trying to do some things. I'm trying to give you guys some pure content, you know, not nobody else's content, not me reacting to somebody else's video. Okay. And if you stayed to this point, like I always say, if you're watching me, you support me, and I appreciate that. And I'll catch you on the next one. Salute.
That's how I'm coming.